CITIUS MAG live from Eugene, day 5, I believe it is. I'm losing track.
Day 5, I think.
And we are joined now by U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials runner-up Clayton Young, getting ready for the Paris Olympic Marathon. Me too. The all-comers one, but our race day is the same. How are things going for you?
Good. Excited to see you in Paris, man. You are going to be, what is it, at the Olympics?
Yeah,
You're racing in the Olympics.
You're racing in the Olympics. I'm racing at the Olympics.
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yep. But overall, the preparations, how are they going?
Good. Yeah, I feel like, we just hit the halfway mark. I feel like I'm in a good spot. I'm healthy. I'm motivated. So 7 more weeks to kind of lock it down and have some fun and see what we can do.
Yeah. Your best friend's here too.
I was going to say, you're number 2 fan behind your wife. Let's kind of talk us through your training a little bit since we last saw you at the trials. How's everything been going?
Yeah, training, I think it started off the beginning of this build with a little bit of a shock. Like Connor and I worked through some niggles the first, I don't know, after the Olympic trials. I think we just got slammed with media and recovery wasn't always there. And so we both were working through some niggles. And so when we got back to training, I expected us to kind of be on the same playing field. Mm-hmm. And I shouldn't have thought that for a second, because Connor just absolutely worked me the first couple weeks of training, to be honest. But I felt like I, embraced the right mindset and just took it a day at a time and let the fitness come. And it's coming. Like, it's been really exciting just to kind of have these key workouts that we've been nailing and getting faster and faster. And that's been good.
Yeah, and I guess both of you had hiccups along the way too, where it was when I saw you in New York, it was very soon after sort of the marathon trials that it wasn't that you rushed back or anything like that, but it was just sort of, that was a tough race, just kind of given the circumstances at the time. And I think that was just the beginning of Connor's, sort of injury stint. And now he's fully back at it, pushing the pace here at the 10K. But I guess that just kind of goes to show that it's post-marathon trials, you're riding this high and you want to keep that momentum going. And sometimes the marathon says, all right, let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, no, thank you. Or I don't know. I had these big dreams of kind of getting in a track season a little bit and maybe working on my speed before this marathon build. But yeah, that was all taken away. And I just, had to take a break for a little bit. And I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, it was probably just what I needed to just kind of be a little bit more fresh and more motivated and to appreciate health going into this build. I think people underappreciate, when you take something away, just how much more of a passion you have for it when it's added back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, health is the name of the game in the marathon, especially on a course like this.
We were talking a little bit before we started rolling. You're coming off of the Boston BAA 10K.
That's right, yeah.
How did you feel the race again? Were you excited to kind of get back out there? You're talking about overcoming a little bit of injuries after the trial, but you ran well.
Yeah.
28:30.
Yeah, 28:31 for 10K. I didn't really know what to expect because you're in the middle of marathon training and you feel like I was really excited for it because before I hit the Olympic standard in Chicago, I raced a lot. I raced Boulder, 8K champs, 10K champs, 20K champs. And I felt like I got really fit and I had a lot of fun that build doing training. But then when I went into the Olympic trials marathon build, I didn't race at all. And so it's kind of interesting that I was able to kind of approach the same results in 2 different ways. And this one, I guess we're kind of doing a hybrid. And I was kind of feeling like it was time for a break. Like I needed a down week to kind of soak in fitness and, I don't know, to have some fun, to, I don't know, feel motivated again. And so we chose Boston, and it was interesting because it was supposed to be really hot and humid, and it ended up being an absolute downpour on the starting line. But I think we handled it well, and I don't know, it was an international field. It's hard because only some of the guys are in marathon training, some are not, and you're just trying to hang on for dear life. I wanted to kind of embrace my inner Drew Hunter and not give an inch, right? That was kind of my mantra going in, but I gave him an inch, and Alex Masai and I paid for it, and we tried to close that gap and we couldn't. So the front pack left us, and and we tried to fight back, and we caught a couple of them, but not quite enough. Finished 9th.
How are you sort of like, you got also the chance to do, what was it? Was it another 10K out in Paris, or was it a 5K?
Yeah, it was a 10K.
10K. And then shortly after that, got to see the course.
Yeah.
What am I in for?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, that whole trip was so awesome because ASICS knew that I'd never flown international, and they were having this awesome promo event, and said like, hey, come out to Paris. We know that you're not in great shape, but like, come run this 10K, experience jet lag, like, feel what it's like to just like not get any sleep, and then run
Sounds
this race.
like me.
Like it
Yeah.
sounds like perfect prep, and you know, they treated me so well out there, and so the race was really cool. It was at night. It was right by the Louvre. There was some really cool lights, and it was a big party scene. But then, yeah, the next 5 days, essentially, I ran the course every single day. And I was out there with Cam Levins a little bit as well, and I focused mostly on those middle miles. It's essentially 10K flat. You climb all the way up and crest this hill down into Versailles, and then you loop back. You kind of drop a little bit, and then is the real hill. Which
18, right?
Yeah, going up to mile 18, a mile climb, and then I think what's the hardest part is the 2.5 miles after that, where you lose all of the elevation, and if you don't have legs for that last 10K, you're
screwed. You're screwed, Chris.
You're gonna be flying by the Eiffel Tower, wishing that you could run straight instead of take the right around the loop to the finish line. But
Connor set the over-under on me finishing 80 minutes after
what
him.
was it, 80 minutes?
That's not going to happen for me. I think he should have given me 2 full hours.
2 full hours. Another, you needed to...
Wait, what do you think I
No,
can run?
no,
I'm not,
I don't
like,
think-
my PR's
I don't think that's
my PR's
right.
No, wait.
I thought it was 90 minutes.
90 minutes. Yeah. No, because I said
You
I
said
wanted to
you-
run
210,
330.
Yeah, and Connor said, I don't think I'm gonna run 2 flat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So,
one guy that could. I don't know.
all right. So what was the over-under?
I think Connor gave you 80 minutes.
80 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
80
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
So
What do
you're
you think?
talking like a 330, yeah, 330, 340.
That's going to be tough for me.
Yeah.
What do you think
No,
this
With
race
how the group run went this morning, you might need to do a second run today, hit some hills.
Yeah, I got a loop for you. I
Yeah.
did it this morning, and it was actually, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty hilly.
Is that the weird part about training for this race, is that you're just constantly looking for hills?
Yeah, but what's really nice is I always used to try to find the flattest. I don't know, like I'd go on any run, and if there was a little hill, I'd like turn around and find another route.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like I approach any hill, and I'm like, this hill's actually not that bad at all. Like every hill compared to the hill is like nothing. Like you just feel like you're like, oh yeah, this is fine. Like I can do this. But I will say, like, a lot of my workouts, the first couple of hill workouts that we have done, like I've been worked, like absolutely destroyed by Connor. And so I've kind of started to embrace this mentality of like, I love hills. And I'm just going to convince myself like that I love hills, even though it's not a reality yet, but it's getting better.
Well, you've run hilly courses before. Atlanta was hilly.
Was way
how
hilly.
does what you saw of the course out in Paris? How does that compare to hilly courses that you've already done?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta was really the only hilly course I've done, but it was like hilly the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The weird thing about Paris is that it's only in those middle miles, like essentially from, I don't know, 10K to 34K is where the hills are. And so it's a lot more condensed, so it's just steep.
Mm-hmm.
It's so steep. Like Atlanta had some steep parts, but it was mainly rolling. But man, Paris, it's going to beat up the legs.
I heard it's going to be hard for people to stay on their feet, like at some point.
Yeah, people might want to roll down the hill, like
That'll
get
be
some
me.
Heelys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pop out a fresh pair of Heelys at the top of mile 18 and let you roll.
Yeah. New shoe innovation.
Yeah, World Athletics approved that.
Yeah.
The shoes.
Yeah.
One other thing, I guess we paid a visit to Fiona O'Keefe out in Park City while she was
Oh,
training,
nice.
and she was telling me something. I don't think we recorded, but it was just sort of like off camera, a bit about how you have to also kind of, and you were like the fueling expert before the marathon trials.
Yeah.
Fueling for a race this crazy is like also a little bit, right? Like there's something about how like what you're taking is going to sit with you while you're going downhill or
I can
running
see
uphill.
that.
Like, have you experimented or anything like that?
I haven't experimented. That's a good point. I should put it on my radar.
Yeah. There we go.
But like, I will say this: in Atlanta, they had an aid station like right before a big climb, and every time I'd get my bottle, and I'd just be like sucking wind uphill and my bottle, and it was the worst, to be honest. So whether you're going uphill or downhill, like I guess you'd rather want it uphill. I don't know. Part of me is like I want it on the downhill so I could at least like breathe and take it down. But I think Fiona might be onto something.
How are the tables gonna stay upright on? Is it that steep that the bottles will be rolling down?
That's a good point. Especially when you toss your bottle. Like, am I gonna be passed by my like steel canister rolling down the hill?
You're doing those again?
Yeah. The Olympic marathon is different.
Okay.
Like for the listeners, those that don't know, like instead of you grabbing your own bottle, you have 2 people at each aid station assigned to the United States table.
That's right.
That can hand you your bottle or ice hat. They can pull it out of a nice fresh cooler, so I don't have to shove it in a canister. And
It's gonna be Ed for you.
It's 2.
what says that?
It's gonna be Coach for you.
I think they will, because it's a looped course. Like, there's no way they're gonna have to put 2 people, all different people throughout the entire course.
So it's 2 people per country.
2 people per country.
So what
per
if
table.
what if all 3 Americans are together?
You're juggling.
Yeah,
It should be. I feel like it should be to make it easy and just do 3 per country.
This is a scenario that like I've played through. I almost would rather my like them set it on the table so I can have something consistent to practice, right?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we're gonna have the relay team doing baton practice before their events, and we're gonna be doing bottle practice with, I don't know, whoever's handing me.
Yeah.
my
Now you got to
bottles.
rely on this person
Yes.
to do a clean handoff.
Yes. Yeah. Like it's definitely, especially if you're gonna throw in a hat and some ice. Like
Yeah.
And you hear about previous trials. Like I remember hearing about how Meb Keflezighi was handed Ryan Hall's bottle.
Oh no.
And they weren't taking the same fluids, and so you know you have Meb like, okay, should I take this bottle or not? And he ends up taking the bottle, but then it makes him nauseous. And anyway, so it's I like the table method. Like
yeah, because you and Connor take different things, right?
it's the same drink. I do like to add a little bit of ketones to those early bottles, just in case I'm bonking really hard at the end. And my last couple marathons, I haven't been bonking, so it's been working.
Training for this one, is it just different when it comes to like the workouts and like the benchmarks in training, where you're just sort of like, for a flat marathon race, like you're just constantly probably running flat workouts, and you know you can get a better gauge of like, oh, this is going to translate to X time. For this race, it's not necessarily that you're training for, I need to be in like 205 shape for this, but it's like I just need to be strong to run a very solid and hard 210, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna favor the runners that have the ability to like to kind of reset their mind frequently. Because honestly, like we were doing a long run the other day, we did a pickup at the end of it, and we went downhill on the way out and uphill on the way back. And on the way back, like we had no idea what paces we were going to be running. And so it's going to favor those that can channel the effort consistently over the entire marathon. But that can be really difficult with like, I have this A-type personality and I want to see that time, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm like 5:30 pace up this hill. Like I'm slowing down. Like, am I fading? And that's going to be really tricky to navigate, I think. Is making sure that we're running marathon effort and not marathon pace. That's, you know, my last 3 marathons, Chicago trials, it was like dial in, like 4:48s, let's do this. But yeah, I think we're going to have to practice. It's also championship style racing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like what happens if I'm running next to a guy that's never seen the course before and he's booking it up this hill and he doesn't know that, well, that hill is 3 times longer than he thinks, right? And you're going to have to really learn how to run your own race and your own effort. And that's something I don't know quite how to practice, but we're working on it.
Do you have an idea at how this race is going to go out? Do you think that it's going to go out really hard? Do you think that there are going to be guys that try and make the move on the hill and hammer the downhill? Like, how in your mind have you been preparing for that? Yeah,
so with the first 10K being flat, part of me is like, but with the daunting hill ahead, I'm hoping, and also it's supposed to be hot and humid, right? I hope it scares the crap out of everybody and it makes everybody run slow, that first 10K.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you also have, who was it that just won Boston? Lima.
Cisse Lima.
Like he just took it out and he said, screw it, like I'm just going to go and send it. And I feel like we're going to have a couple guys like that. And is that going to carry the pack? I don't know. But I think ultimately, I don't know, you got to be prepared for anything. And there's a very big difference between running for a medal and running for top 10 and running for top 20. Like, and that could be my A goal, B goal, C goal, but I really won't commit until the day of the race or leading up to the race.
Yeah. How worried are you about Kipchoge? Because, like, and this is not to get a soundbite out of you to be like, I'm not worried about Kipchoge. Headline everywhere. Clayton Young not worried about Kipchoge at the Olympics. But I also do think that, like, someone like him, this course does not favor him whatsoever. And, Bekele's another one who it's like, he's got the cross-country prowess from, like, maybe a decade ago, and I don't know how much that's kind of carried over. But these A-list names, this course just kind of throws the biggest, wild card factor in for them that, I do look to guys like Cam Levins as, like, heavy medal favorites for this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, obviously mad respects for Elliot, like, and what he has done and what he will do. Like, I still believe in him, man. But, like, you're right. Like, he's kind of made for Boston. Or not Boston, he's kind of made for Berlin. And when he did run Boston, he kind of suffered.
I think it's
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a certain athlete to be able to run in non-ideal conditions and on hills. And I even remember being out there in April at the ASICS event and just being, literally being in a van, driving up these hills, touring the course and grabbing my wife's hand and being like, we wanted this. Like, this is good for us. Like, this is what we were hoping for, because I think it really will favor those that prepare and those that can run in adverse conditions. And I don't know, like, the worse conditions, the better for me and Connor, to be honest.
Yeah. How much of this build-up now, I think at this point that you and Connor are both fully back and healthy, feels like, all right, we're back to doing sort of like the Orlando build-up together. And, it's been really cool to follow it along with the YouTube series you've got going.
Yeah. I feel like it's finally been clicking the last week or two. There was a workout a week or two ago that, I nailed some times in our fatigued mile repeat session that was just like, all right, I'm like, the fitness has come and I can work from here. And it was almost a point, there was like, it's this constant mind game, because you're both thinking, okay, I need to be fitter than I was at the trials or Chicago. Like, you want to be a better athlete, you want to progress, but also you don't want to peak too early and you don't want to burn out and you don't want to get injured. Like, people tell you that all the time preparing for the Olympics, like, do it, whatever you do, just don't change anything, right? But at the same time, like, you want to be a better athlete than you were before. And I hit this workout last week and I was like, okay, like, this is kind of the tipping point. Like, do I embrace this and push forward, or do I just, like, cruise, kind of, if that makes sense? And so that's the kind of mindset that I'm trying to work through right now. But
so you haven't chosen?
I haven't. I think after the race, honestly, in Boston, I came away from that race being like, 28:30 is no slouch. Like, that was a great day, but 9th place sucks. Like, I like, especially against an international field. And yes, I got to take it with a grain of salt, because a 10K is very different than a marathon. I feel like in a 10K, you are not rewarded for patience and running smart. It's almost like you have to send it no matter what. You have to, you can't give them in. You have to close the freaking door. Like, you have to get on it. But in a marathon, you're rewarded, especially in Paris, for being patient and being smart in a race. So I have to be careful. I have to put an asterisk by Boston, but it really motivated me to be like, I can do better. Like, I can be better. And I'm excited to see how these next 6 weeks go. And yeah, follow along in the docuseries, because I think it's really going to paint a picture of what we can do. It's been really fun to tell that story and that journey. It's been special to share that. I will say it hasn't been easy. Like, it's been a lot of work, both for Andrew, who's shooting the docuseries, and for me to be kind of vulnerable and to kind of let the world into my life. But I think it's something that I'm going to look back on and be really proud of. And I hope it motivates and inspires others.
I love the turnaround on the episodes. Like, you do feel like it's like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah,
and it's already sort of on camera. And it's sort of like the transparency too of just you started doing this is like, all right, we can't, let's quit after 2 episodes. Like, no, we're seeing this through all the way to the very end.
Yeah, you know, we shot the first couple episodes, and I just realized really early on that like I have to be 100% real and raw in these episodes and in these shoots, or it's not gonna last. Like it's because it would be so draining to not like to put on a front, right? And it's also kind of who I am. Like I appreciate authenticity, and so that's what I'm trying to do. And you know that means that you know there will be bad days. And there will be emotions, but like that's okay. Like it's well worth it to have, and it also helps me process every week by week. Like this is the key points and the lessons from this week, and this is what I learned. And I think it might even be motivating to go back as I approach the Olympics and watch some of these episodes and be like, this is how far I've come. That's something I love to do before every race, is look back at you know the good workouts, the good races, the good training that I've done to give me the confidence that I need for what's ahead.
Mm-hmm.
The marathon trials were in December, right?
No, February.
February, and you did. And now, does it feel? Does it give you a little bit of boost of excitement and motivation being here in Eugene? You've got the Hayward Field in the background right here. You did the team processing.
Yeah, put on the kit.
You put on the kit. Like, how's that feel? Does it feel like, you know, this big race is right around the corner and give you a little bit of boost of motivation these last few weeks?
Yeah, this was a lot more exciting to be here than I expected. Like, with the way that travel worked out, we were maybe not going to be able to attend any track races, but we got in, and I had our driver book us straight to the track. We threw our bags in some car and went and made it just in time for the 1500. And I haven't been to the stadium. I haven't been to New Hayward. The last time I was here was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so like to walk in, see the new stadium, see the 1500, and I'm like, I'm geeking out, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big track fan. Like I love it.
Yeah.
And that was super exciting. And in fact, I've been watching it on TV, right, the last couple days. And we've been on the East Coast, and man, I have so much more respect for those East Coast fans, because I'm like, I've got a race, but man, like the 100 meters is about to go off, and I want to watch it, but I need to go to bed and get to sleep. And like, it's been really fun to watch a lot of those races. But the coolest thing, I will say this, like I've been watching all these athletes sign the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
So
that's a fun feature.
Guess what I did?
You signed the
After
Eiffel
the
Tower.
event, I went and I was like, hey, can I sign the Eiffel Tower? And they were like, wait, who are you? And I was like, and I was like, and my wife was like, he took second at the marathon trials. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh.
You were,
yeah,
you were
of
too
course.
humble. You were trying to like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to be like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. Can I sign the Eiffel
yeah,
Tower?
yeah.
I'm running in Paris too.
It was cool.
Yeah, like Chavez, you're not getting the Eiffel Tower signature.
One more, I guess, sort of just like update. I guess since the last time we sat down with you in Orlando, it was like at that point, like it was uncertain, like if we were gonna field a full team. Lenny officially going. What's that like? I guess to like have Lenny after just kind of like all of the uncertainty around. It was sad when I did like do the interview with him. I said to him, I was like, "Hey, did you celebrate in Orlando?" He was like, "No." And I was like, "Did you celebrate on May 5th when?" And obviously not. That's when the universality places came into things. And so then when it finally did get official, I was like, "Did you celebrate?" He was like, not really, but like it was just a massive like weight lifted off of his shoulders. I think Lenny's overdue like a major celebration.
Yeah, it was funny because I actually saw him for the first time since February at team processing. And so I finally got to approach him and be like, yo, like, congrats. Like, I'm so excited that you're part of this team because, I don't know, the more the merrier. Like, especially on a marathon course, it's like, I have a lot of respect for Lenny. I looked up to him for a long time. He trashed me on the roads for many years before I was able to trash him. But like, and he's just a down-to-earth guy. Like, he's really humble and he's a family man. And I really respect that. Yeah. And he obviously like serves and represents our country to the highest honor. Like, he's very patriotic, and I love that about him. So yeah, I guess in Paris we're gonna party it when we're done. You know, if he doesn't grab my bottle from from the volunteer, then I'll
tell him to stay away from your ketones.
Then we're gonna be all right. But I'm excited. I was asking him. I was like, hey, we were supposed to be on a team with him at Boulder 10K, and then he didn't. He scratched, and the teams got shuffled. And so I was asking him, I was like, "Are you healthy? Or how's training?" Like, and he seemed like he was in a good spot. And he, it's like 6 weeks to go, right, before you taper.
Oh gosh, that's so soon.
So
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm excited to see what Team USA can do.
You're doing opening ceremonies?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Stone was like, "Look, your second Olympics are never guaranteed. You gotta experience this." And so yeah, I got kitted out today. It took 4 hours. Team processing took 4 hours, and it was really
explain
exciting
to the people
and cool.
who like don't know what's happening in there. It's like a lot of paperwork, then the uniform stuff. Like
Yeah.
what else?
Well, I guess you'll catch a glimpse of it on the docuseries. We shot it, but it'll be like 2 minutes instead of 4 hours. But yeah, so you try on all the kits, and they have like 3 different kits you can try on in different colors, and then you're getting all your Ralph Lauren stuff. You're getting your Team USA gear. You're getting you're doing your travel. You're doing your USADA, like your drug testing. You're doing your health checks, like your mental health, your physical health. You're getting some pajamas. You're trying on these pajamas. In fact, I had to have a conversation with Fred Curley in pajamas because he walked in. I was like, I got to talk to Fred.
Yeah.
And
what was that like?
Well,
Because he was in
Yeah.
the ad, right? For the pajamas, the Skims
well,
ad.
This
right?
it's not Skims. It's a different pajama company. I'm gonna get fired because I don't know the name. But anyway, so it's just a lot of little things that took forever.
That is the funny part of just sort of like when you make a team, like someone like Fred walks in the room, like that's your teammate now.
Yeah.
And are there some of those people that you're kind of like looking forward to, like, hey, I love hearing the stories of like, oh, this sprinter is now all of a sudden really best friends with like this shot putter or anything like that. Are you like, hey, if I get the opportunity, I'd like to, get to know this person a little bit better? It's got to be Fred.
Yeah. I mean, Fred was a big part of it because he was an ASICS athlete, and I really needed to hear his story as an ASICS athlete myself, like to kind of understand that. And so it was good to see Fred and to kind of listen to him and yeah, so it was really cool to see him, and he was really chill about it too. Like he was very approachable and talked to me and took some time, and that was really cool. And
I love that polar opposites, 100 marathon.
Yeah, and I've heard that he has respect for the distance athletes, but who knows? I don't know if he goes as high up as marathon, but
He thinks he could steeplechase. Like,
dude, steeplechase mile, maybe Fred Curley.
Maybe Fred Curley.
Yeah, there we go.
That could be fun. And
Obviously,
then,
I want to dap up LeBron James on the boat, but we'll see what if that
That'd be a
happens.
good dap.
Yeah.
oh, that'd be
one guy.
awesome.
The king?
I have a bet with Rory Linkletter to see if we can dap him up, but he's going to be on a different boat. And actually, he won't be there for opening ceremonies. Right?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to
Yeah.
get LeBron access, I bet.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But Clayton, it's been awesome just kind of like following along in the journey and just watching everything unfold. And you've made so many fans just over the last couple months. Consider us among them. And I'm excited for Paris.
Likewise. Super excited. See you out there.
See,
luck,
me
Chris.
out there.
Yeah, good
You're
luck.
dragging my body out there, yeah.
Best of luck with training.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to need every little
Come
bit
train
of
in
luck.
Provo.
Might have
We'll
to.
feature you. You
In
can in the docuseries. Yeah.
You're going to need a second cameraman to hang way back with me.
Andrew's good at that.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. That does it for day 5 of CITIUS MAG live from Eugene. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Track and Field with Eric and Mitch and Karen. Even though there's an off day, we're still bringing the vibes. And then we'll be doing our show again with a loaded just slate of more guests who are fresh off of qualifying for the Olympic team. Vibes are high here in Eugene. Even though it's day 5, we do that. I love track and field. There
Fun.
it is. It's on the hat.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.